What's up, guys? It is Strider coming at you with some more Pokemon content. I would like to today go over the Week 2 power rankings. Again, I will not be ranking myself since, again, it's hard to avoid that self-bias, but we will be ranking the other 6 teams. So coming in here at number 6, I have Zack Attack. He had a bye this week, and technically he does not have the worst record anymore, but his differential is still quite poor. I'd like to see a little more out of him before I'm willing to move him up. Again, I know maybe that's not super fair, but yeah, I don't know. And again, I don't really have much to add about his team or his play from this week, as again he had the bye, so didn't see him. Same applies though. He hasn't changed his team, so same about his team applies pretty much from last week. Number 5, I have the Magikarp, who are currently the only O2 team. I don't think, really, the fact that he's O2 quite tells the whole story, as both of his games have been very close. They've both been 1-0 losses, so he has a very low differential considering his... I mean, he has a very good differential considering his record. He just keeps barely losing these games. I was a little bummed to see that he brought the exact same 6 that he brought week 1. I really think he has some other tools on his team that he could utilize in a lot of matchups. His Scolipede, for instance, he hasn't brought yet, and I do think it can do some work against a lot of teams in a lot of matchups. Moving right along here to number 4, we're just going to jump right into Team Instinct here. Currently 0-1, has a bit of a weakness to ground that his opponent kind of abused in week 2, and he only has 1 immunity. I mean, I guess he has like 1.5. He has Flygon, who's immune, and then Mega Altaria, who's immune before she Megas. But still, even that, just kind of was able to... Garchomp did a lot of work against him, mainly knowing that he really has no switch-ins to ground attacks. Also, speed kills, and he just has very little of that on his team. Also, though, just one quick positive thing to say, 6 solar being played by him. But yeah, that's it. Moving on to the number 3 ranked team, we have John Jackson Sucks. He had a bit of a poor showing this week. Entei was able to kind of just blow huge holes in his team simply by kicking extreme speed. He didn't really have a reliable switch in it, Entei. He has Tentacruel, but he did allow it to get worn down. He brought Tentacruel as well. Well, he actually had Tentacruel and Gliscor, who's kind of a switch in, but even he doesn't want to take Sacred Fires. Neither of them do really. Plus, Tentacruel is more of a special wall than a physical wall. But the Gliscor was dead already when the Tentacruel, or when the Entei came in, which he allowed to die. And the Tentacruel he kind of allowed to get worn down in a battle with Venusaur earlier that put it into extreme speed range. On the positive side, though, I do like what he's doing with Mew. I think he's brought 2 completely different Mew sets both games, which I think is cool. I think that's interesting. I think that that's kind of what you want to do with Mew. So. Number 2, we actually have the biggest riser, I believe, in the Oklahoma City Thunderous. He had a pretty good game. He beat the previously number 1 ranked John Jackson Sucks. I still don't really like that he doesn't have a way, or at least a good way, in my opinion, to get rid of hazards on a team that is so weak to rocks. Like, if you look at his, so one of his tier 1s is Victini. His Mega is Mega Charizard Y. One of his tier 2s is Salamence, and his other tier 2 is Entei. That's a lot of your high-powered mons that are weak to rocks, and the fact that he does not have a way to get rid of them. He has Sandslash, and he has Salamence, who can learn Defog. But other than that, he has nothing, and neither of those are... Like, Sandslash is usually a Rapid Spinner or a Sweeper on the Sand team, so that's nice. But again, it's a tier 5 mon, and it's just kind of weak, so you don't want to bring it that often. And Salamence really just would rather be just clicking powerful attacks. But I don't know, maybe he can make it work. He's made it work so far. So he's kind of been proving me wrong, but I don't know, I think that might change eventually. And number 1, the only undefeated team on these rankings is Dizzy Falcon. He had a super close match actually against Magikarp, allowing him to again be the only undefeated team listed here. Sort of the opposite of last week, actually. That last week he was behind and kind of had to make a comeback. This week he jumped out into a large lead and kind of almost lost it towards the end. He made a couple of transactions this week. He dropped Weavile for Talonflame, and he dropped Mega Sceptile for Mega Gallade. His Weavile was hard to say if it was going to do a ton. It hadn't actually even taken a hit yet. It had mainly been a cleaner, and it had done that job pretty solid. It was I got 2 kills last week, or no, 2 kills this week. 2 kills last week, 1 kill this week. Basically just finishing week and things off. So I don't know. And Talonflame can do a very similar job to that, to what Weavile was doing. The Sceptile for Gallade, his Sceptile actually hasn't done anything. It's taken like 3 hits and died twice and not gotten any kills. So it's hard to really say. And that honestly isn't really the fault of Sceptile. That was some odd play here and there. Like he kind of made a misplay this week in that he brought in the Sceptile against the Fairy, hit it with a Dragon move. The Fairy was able to kill it. Then the other thing was and then last week he let it get hit by a poison type move from a Venusaur. So just kind of weird situation for Mega Sceptile. I don't know if he got a fair shake, but again he did decide to go with the Mega Gallade. That's it. Actually, really short since I already did it week 1 and I talked about what I think of the teams overall. I don't really just want to sit here and reiterate everything. And because of that, I do want to add a little bit here to the end of the rankings. Each week I'd like to talk about the current awards leaders really quick. When I say awards, I mean offensive and defensive MVPs. If we go over here, you can see we have the top 5 offensive MVP and top 5 defensive MVP. You'll see actually Dizzy Falcon's here a whole lot with a lot of different ones. His Keldeo is actually number 1 in offense. He's got 6 knockouts across 2 weeks, which is actually very good. Number 2 is something from my team. The Garchomp's got 5 kills. Then you got Haxorus with 4. On the Magic Harp, you got Weavile coming in with, again, that Weavile that he just dropped coming in with 3 kills, 0 deaths too. And Thunderous, or the Thunderous is Landorus T. God, that's annoying. Actually, who we just picked up this week, rounding out the top 5, was able to get 2 knockouts this week. So that's on the offensive side. Keldeo, I'd be surprised, to be honest with you, if Keldeo kept up that high of a pace, simply because, well, it's very strong. It's just a little bit inflexible. It doesn't have a huge move pool, so I could see matchups where it just performs poorly. But I mean, what do I know? And then on the defensive MVP, you'll see more Dizzy Falcon here. Actually, you got Rotom Wash here, who's taken 10 hits across 2 weeks, which is quite a bit. And then the last 4 actually all have identical stats. Dizzy Falcon, Keldeo, who's above the rest because the first tiebreaker is knockouts, or actually the first tiebreaker is feints. And then knockouts is the second, and since they all have the same amount of feints, Dizzy Falcon's Keldeo takes the cake because it's taken 8 hits. Then yeah, Blissey and Kfagris, who I think were number 1 and 2 last week, dropped down to 3 and 4. And then lastly, rounding it out, is John Jackson Sucks Mew coming in with 8 hits taken. Yeah, that's it. It'll be interesting to see how these change as the week goes on, or as the season goes on. I don't know how much I expect it to really fluctuate, but it'll be interesting, especially with like people picking things up, dropping things. Like obviously Weavile will probably drop off of there, seeing as it's no longer on a team. Period. So yeah, I do hope you guys did enjoy this one, and thank you for taking the time to watch it. Have a good one.